So my background really started out in broadcasting. That's what I was doing before I got married. And then for 20 years, almost 20 years, I traveled the world with my husband. He served in the United States Air Force. We raised 4 sons, or currently still raising one of the 4. And we moved to the region 4 years ago. And after watching my husband serve our country and really just following so many men and women who had served our country, I felt like it was really my turn to try to give back and serve the area as well. And so I started really looking at to see how I could do that. And someone mentioned something about serving in local politics and local government. And so I started to come to city council meetings and learn more about what was going on in the city of Lynchburg. We bought a house in the area, moved into the city specifically in 2020, and doors just started opening for me to get involved in that way. And 2 years later, here I am. Mm-hmm. I think what we could do a better job of doing is helping our community members understand what the local government actually is and what we do and how we serve. What people don't understand is I actually work for the citizens. I work for 82,000 people now. We have approximately 82,000 residents of the city, and I work for them. And so I'm a voice to represent them at the local government level. And I think, and all the city council members represent them in some way, and to make sure that we are an advocate for their voices. And so I think it's really important that we explain that and do a better job of that, but also making sure that community members use their voice more, come to city council meetings more, understand the responsibility that they have to advocate for themselves and for their families, so that they know what rights they have in their own city. So I think the women that I look up to most are women like my mom and my mother-in-law, who were full-time working mothers, who also came home at the end of a long day to take care of their children. You know, my mother-in-law was a single mother working 3 jobs to provide for my husband, and sacrificed a lot to make sure she could provide for his needs, and went without a lot for herself to take care of him. And then my own mother, who again, she worked a full-time job. My dad was a pilot, and so he was gone a lot, and she'd come home at the end of a long day and take care of me and my sisters, and never complained. And so those are my personal, heroes. But then, the teachers, the women teachers who give their all to love on children that are not theirs. They're heroes of mine. They're women that I look up to. The women that are just around town doing it, that are working full-time jobs and going back to school and taking care of their families. All these women who are just doing what it takes to get through their day, or doing what it takes to get through their day and doing whatever else that they want to accomplish the goals that they have for themselves. There's so many women that sacrifice, but that are also trying to do what they, accomplish their dreams. And those are the real world women that are heroes. Of course, there's all kinds of women that I could list that are great, famous women that we could all name off here and there that are common. But I think the real women that I admire the most are the everyday women that we could say are nameless to a lot of us, but we all know who they are, and I see you. Yeah. I think it's great that when the first women in Lynchburg got to vote, 3 of the 12 were African American women. I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome that I'm the 4th female mayor in a row, which is very historical, that we've had 4 females. I think it's amazing that we are in a time now that, it used to be women were hired because they were women. And now we're at a place that women are hired because they're qualified. And I think that says so much. And I think that young women today are in such a better place because of that, that they're not hired to meet a quota anymore. And we've come so far because of that. But you're right, it's only been 100 years, And I wonder what 100 years from now is going to look like. So for our young women out there who are looking up to women of today and say, you know, I want to be like her, I just think, just keep dreaming big. And don't let any limitations that you may feel that society may still put on you be a hindrance, because we just have to keep going.